Imagine, just for a second, looking down at our planet from space. You see the vast, swirling blue of the Pacific Ocean, right? Its currents are moving in this predictable, ancient rhythm. But then, something shifts. A massive pool of water starts to warm up. And suddenly, almost as if an invisible switch gets flipped, global weather goes completely haywire. We're talking catastrophic flooding in one hemisphere, devastating droughts in another, and extreme heat waves buckling infrastructure across entire continents. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unraveling a massive, documentary-level mystery about the hidden forces that are secretly dictating our global weather.
So what if I told you that a change in ocean temperature in the Pacific could influence the weather thousands of kilometers away? I know, it sounds a bit like science fiction, but it is a very real, very powerful scientific fact. Earth's climate system is so incredibly interconnected that these localized temperature shifts in the ocean are actually the secret architects of global extreme weather. Today, we're diving into the true extent of two of the most powerful natural phenomena on the planet. This is the story of El Niño and La Niña.
Let's jump straight into Section 1. What exactly is El Niño?
To really grasp the chaos these events cause, we first need to understand what's happening beneath the waves. Scientists define an El Niño event pretty specifically. It's the appearance of unusually warm surface water that pops up from time to time in the eastern equatorial Pacific. Now, in a normal ocean, there's this sharp boundary called a thermocline, and it separates the cold, deep water from a much warmer upper layer. But during a strong El Niño event, this massive warm water cell develops right off the coasts of Peru and Ecuador, and this completely disrupts the normal, predictable circulation of the entire Pacific Ocean. When you look at the temperature data, there's this incredibly vivid color gradient that shows exactly where this warming happens. The bright red and yellow zones highlight where this unusually warm water is pooling up. It basically acts like a massive thermal engine, proving just how much a localized temperature spike can completely throw off the normal oceanic balance. But as massive as this ocean warming is, it's actually only half of the story.
Which brings us to Section 2, ENSO, where the ocean meets the atmosphere.
To get the full picture here, we have to look up from the water and into the sky. Because at the exact same time the ocean is warming, something called the Southern Oscillation is happening right above it. Think of the atmosphere as this giant, invisible seesaw. The Southern Oscillation is literally a seesaw of atmospheric pressure between the Pacific Ocean and the Indo-Australia area. As the pressure drops in one area, it goes up in the other. It's such a massive deal that scientists have even developed a specific tool, the Southern Oscillation Index, just to monitor this huge atmospheric balancing act. So the really crucial point here is combining these two elements together. When you take the oceanic component, El Niño, and you add the atmospheric component, the Southern Oscillation, you get ENSO. ENSO is just the scientific term used to describe the full combined oceanic and atmospheric impacts of this whole phenomenon. It represents a massive intermittent disruption of our entire climate system, and it's all centered right there on the equatorial Pacific.
Moving on to Section 3. What is La Niña?
Let's see what happens when the Pacific Ocean decides to completely flip the script. Because, nature is all about balance, right? What warms up can also dramatically cool down. Enter La Niña. If El Niño is considered a warm event, La Niña is firmly categorized as a cold event. It's defined by the appearance of anomalously colder than average sea surface temperatures in the central and east equatorial Pacific. So the water temperatures drop noticeably below their long-term average for that region, which completely reverses that massive thermal engine we just talked about. Visually, it's a dramatic shift. Instead of a warm pool off the coast of South America, La Niña brings this massive intrusion of heavy, cool blue tones across the temperature maps, massive cold air and ocean patterns. And this cold event forces completely different atmospheric responses. It drives cold air north and keeps other regions uncharacteristically warm and dry.
Let's compare them directly in Section 4, Warm versus Cold Events.
Let's lock this in by putting these two forces head-to-head. On one side, we have the warm event, El Niño, disrupting circulation with eastern Pacific warming. On the other side, we have the cold event, La Niña, bringing central and eastern Pacific cooling. But what's really fascinating, and honestly terrifying for the people living through it, is how closely they can follow one another. According to the records, the massive 1997 to 1998 El Niño was immediately followed by a 1998 to 1999 La Niña event. That meant the exact same geographic areas were hit back-to-back with completely different, yet equally disastrous consequences.
This leads us to Section 5, Global Impacts and Teleconnections.
Now we can finally connect these Pacific Ocean changes back to the extreme global weather disasters we mentioned at the very start of this explainer. I mean, how does a warm patch of water near Peru flood a town thousands of miles away? Well, the answer is a concept called teleconnections. In climate science, teleconnections are basically atmospheric interactions between widely separated regions. You can think of it as a massive global knock-on effect. Since our atmosphere is entirely connected, a disruption in the Pacific acts exactly like a domino falling, eventually knocking over weather patterns on the complete opposite side of the planet.
And here is exactly how that knock-on effect actually works. Step 1. The Pacific Ocean warms up during an El Niño. Step 2. All that extra heat and moisture rises into the air, which literally distorts the global jet stream patterns. And remember, the jet streams are those fast-flowing air currents that drive weather all across the globe. So step 3, because those jet streams get distorted, distant extreme weather suddenly pops up in places you really wouldn't expect.
And the human cost of this distortion is just staggering. For instance, the 1997 to 1998 El Niño was so severe that the press in the US actually nicknamed it El Minio or El Mini. It appears to be the absolute worst on record in terms of pure destruction and human suffering. We're talking about extreme events causing massive landslides that literally drop homes off cliffs and devastating floodwaters wiping out entire communities. From Peru to Papua New Guinea to eastern Kenya, the short-term climate impacts of these teleconnections are incredibly real and very well documented.
Finally, Section 6, Tracking Extreme Climate Events.
So you're probably wondering, if these events are so destructive, what are we doing about it? Well, here's a kind of mind-blowing fact. Scientists actually still aren't completely sure why an El Niño occurs in the first place. But while the initial spark remains a mystery, our ability to monitor the fire has evolved remarkably. We now track ENSO using a massive, high-tech global net. First off, we have vastly improved satellite coverage to observe oceanic patterns from space. But the real heroes here are the Tropical Atmosphere Ocean Buoys, or TAO buoys. Deployed in both shallow waters and mid-ocean, these things can stay active for an entire year. They are constantly measuring sea surface temperature, surface winds, air temp, humidity, and even subsurface currents. And then they transmit this data daily, sometimes even hourly, directly into our weather forecasting systems. We then combine all of that with a careful analysis of sea levels on coasts all around the Pacific.
Which really leaves us with this final thought. We now know that an invisible seesaw of pressure and temperature in the Pacific holds the reins of our global climate. And sure, we can track the warm events of El Niño and the cold shifts of La Niña with hourly precision, but as our planet continues to change, how will these massive oceanic seesaws continue to shape the future of extreme global weather? It's a profound reminder that when the ocean speaks, the entire world is forced to listen.